Pew, 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 pew. My G's are back on the bridge.
Bridge.
The G's are back on a digital bridge. Petrol bridge.
Mr. Chirisa, what did you do? Western Chirisa in the house.
What it do? International Candizo, Billboard Candizo if you nasty, or Double Nama Award winner if you even nastier. Mouty!
But yo, welcome back to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the settings are different. We're just trying something out. If it works, it works. 43, what do you say? Let's kick it off with the coffees. The Sadzas. My plate is Sadza.
The Sadzas, my plate is Sadza.
Who gave us 3. My plate is Sadza. I felt cold out listening to you guys on the 2 Broke Timbers panel. I've been begging for new episodes, but I'm not paying my dues. Please keep me anonymous. The people that I owe will start looking for me. Shout out to you.
Hey, well played. I like the vision. Yeah. You know what I like about that is because he prioritized the boys River Bridge over Zhukeri.
Yeah.
I like that.
But
the priorities.
It's also a she, which tells you,
Oh,
it's a she. It's a very good friend of the podcast. I don't know why they chose to go anonymous here. Somebody that we both know.
No, but they clearly said Spande. So
trying to be interesting.
No, it's all true. Yeah, because my she's hardly have Spande bands like that.
Shout out to Tinashe Mkuru with a plate of Sadza and Naru. Hey guys, I just wanted to take a moment and say how much I love your podcast. Your humor is everything. I look forward to every new episode. Keep up the amazing work. Then there is Anonymous who bought us 5 plates of Sadza. And Kandiro Kanoenda Kunova Kamwe. Here's a little something to say I appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work. And also you are way overdue for a new episode. Tinash brought us 10 plates of Sadza. Answer that last episode. Usually connected, but this one I felt it. You guys are not alone. Thank you, Munashe and King, for all that you guys do. Mad respect. TK the Goat bought us 5 plates of Sadza, and you guys are doing great. Keep up the spirit. Then there's someone who prefers to remain anonymous who bought us 3 plates of Sadza. For these and many other blessings from the boys of Bridge, I'm truly grateful. The last few episodes we hadn't been reading these messages. So
to be fair,
But from here on out, we're going to make sure that at the top of every episode, whoever gets us my plate is Sadza gets their shout out. If you also want to contribute to the podcast, please go on to buymeacoffee.com/blackandforthpod. We'll also include it's what makes some of these things that you guys see happening on the podcast or wherever in the creative genres, you guys make it possible. So shout out to you. Number 1
I want to put my sense. And I'm not subscribing. And y'all don't want to subscribe. Like the amount of people tuning in and not subscribing, or subscribing and not turning on notifications. Come on.
And the discrepancy between, there's something nasty that I noticed. The discrepancy between the people who watch propaganda and the people that watch Black and Forth. Yeah, it's if it was somebody else, it's a little depressing. Like the people that watch Black and Forth are way more vocal, which makes it feel like Vagawanda. Right? But it takes a propaganda episode 24 hours to get to 30,000 views. It takes a Black and Forth episode 7 days to get to 10,000 views.
Yeah, so what's going on?
Someone is lying.
Someone is lying
about gang. Someone is lying. I promise you, the first time it happened with propaganda, I thought it was a fluke. I was like, maybe people haven't watched this in a while. They thought, then it happened again. I was like,
something ain't right.
So, it's up to you guys. Please, and even the discrepancy in the amount of likes those episodes get, So please, when you watch,
saka panapa ndiri kusensa like audience repropaganda roti zvoni Munashe ari kutinyaudza.
no, not even. I think it's a thing of, it's a thing of, because the podcast is such a relaxed
No,
atmosphere.
and it's long form.
Long form,
very
right?
long form.
So we say that to say, if you're watching the podcast, please hit that like button. Please hit that, because the way you guys, the more people like, the more it gets recommended to other people. The more it will show up
Very
in those
true.
pages, and other people will come onto the community and be part of the bridge atmosphere. And then that means the boys are getting some of that YouTube monies, But shout out to you. We appreciate the people that are here.
We do. Hey, man. Hey.
Tune in. There's people that, how YouTube actually tells you, like, there's a tally card of the people that comment the most on the episode. I think Kim is one of like the highest.
Top things.
Laura used to be up there, but Laura is now busy with graft. We see you, Laura.
They've got my girl in the gulag.
Laura is featuring too much on LinkedIn. It's commenting too much. LinkedIn. But yeah, man, just feedback on some of the previous episodes. There was a lot of conversation that sparked from that Freeman subsection that we did.
Yeah. That can I also just say, Freeman sent me a voice note.
Bro,
Freeman hit me up. Freeman sent me a voice note. That was
I should have teed it up. I should have put it up. But
that was the highlight of the month for me.
Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt.
Shout out to HKD boss.
Which is testament to the sort of guy he is. In all fairness, again, we said he's the good vibes, bro. Non-problematic. Yeah. I trust Freeman. To testament to what I assumed he would be like in person and his character. Yeah. I hadn't had the pleasure of meeting or talking to him in person, but now that I have, I was like, yeah, of course, man, it's very on brand. Makes sense. Shout out big up to Freeman.
I don't know if it's a sign of how broken we are as a people, or this is not even a Zimbabwean thing, but just a whole world thing. You can say Freeman, shout out to Freeman, consistent, and somebody will be like, what are you guys saying about Jabrisa? I'm like, brother.
No, you know what I think it is. I don't even think it's an us thing. I think it's just a human being thing. I think it's just a spoiled for choice thing. I think again, and the accessibility of airing your opinions is what it is, because it's across the board. But we did make some egregious claims. Like, I mean, off the face value, given that how we framed it, we were speaking very subjectively, and some people started taking things a bit too far. Guy, come on, so sense, fill in the blanks. When we say for time to try a generation, Oliver Mtugudzi, come on, man, we all know that Oliver Mtugudzi is.
You're comparing him to Imba. Oliver Mtugudzi, Imba, my days, Smith,
man,
black people are that's the person that you're trying to call. Somebody with 60-something albums. That's who you want to compare Freeman with.
We know that.
Let's be serious, people. Come on.
You know what we're saying. We're saying.
But yeah, man, that was a fun conversation to have before it took the turn it took. The other thing, also just quickly, I saw somebody trying to compare propaganda and Black and Forth, and that was very disappointing for very obvious reasons. Because again, but let's not be silly.
Let's not do that.
There's a reason why these two things exist on different channels.
There's a reason one ichitwa pa gorongo pa bridge and one ichitwa studio. Come on.
Like those are two different shows. Propaganda started. Well, there's people that are finding it now, but propaganda started mid-COVID, 2021. That's when that thing started, and it's tailored towards people who are like, inclined towards political conversations, that satirical late night stuff. Black and Forth is a show that is not restricted to one subject matter. We are seated by bridge talking nyayas. If
I told that theme.
Ain't theme. We're just sitting here chatting, looking back, talking about whatever is coming up. If we are focused on that week's news, propaganda, on the other hand, has fact checkers.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you hear on propaganda is fact checked.
You can't just come with rudunura what have you done.
On propaganda, you're actually allowed to go and say Panapa, as we have said, every time we try very much to be responsible with the things that we say, but in the event that we're wrong, you hear us on the next episode saying like, yo,
correcting it.
Because Panapa, we are relaxed, we are laughing. This is mainly just to hang out.
Yeah, excuse
discuss. Sometimes you hear maybe the same line of thought featuring on propaganda as you hear it featuring on Black and Forth, primarily because it's the same person on both shows.
Of course, it's the same ideas, the same thoughts.
That's the only link between those shows. Please don't apples and oranges. Apples and oranges. Very, 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 very different. Very, 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 very. It's very similar to when you hear Trevor Noah on The Daily Show and Trevor Noah on What Now, the podcast.
Of course,
similar
precisely.
to when you hear it's.
Come on. You know what? You guys are smarter than that. You know, we don't even have to over-explain these things. We don't have to over-explain these things. But anyway, getting into the Humvi news.
The week, Baba. What you got?
The week. Well, first and foremost, Makoro Koto. Big congrats. Thank you. We're not just gonna slide past that. Icho. But hey, people are rude, bro. And now you can put your number in your bag. Do
you know what's crazy? This is actually the real flex. Because this is actually not the one that I want. This is the other.
Yeah, of course. You know, I was about to say I don't suspect that it's arrived that quickly. But I figured. Two gongs, run that and around. At least now Pandino studio Namo behind me too. Just
nah, you won't. It's still
please.
Nope. Get you on. I have both of them behind me. Oh. But
don't.
Shout out to the numbers, man.
Journey buffed.
Oh.
Journey buffed.
Shout out to the numbers, man. We brought it home. I think it was very nice. It was a very nice feeling. It's always nice to win, especially
of course.
I think this one was especially nice because I was nominated alongside people who did bits. Like Nijo had an incredible year. Bombongeni had. So it was actually a category where people were like, ooh, who's going to?
Mazedro, you may lead up.
No. The first time I won this, I was nominated. The first time I won it, I was nominated alongside Tanya Alex, alongside his name is right. His face is actually there. Andrew Manyika. Right?
Okay.
Where even prior to it was just like everyone on the day of the awards do you get what I mean? It was very much.
I don't know. I don't know. Bro, Hey, listen. Yeah. I'm not gonna goad you into being arrogant because I'll soon. But that's fine. That's okay. I'll let you.
Somebody said in the comments, I think this was one of the propaganda comments, is like, I like this program better on the other one with your friend. Bosta. I was like, my man. I was like, my man. I promise you. I was like,
never boast.
I was like, that's crazy to me because I like to think of us as guys that are, for the most part, I mean, cavalier with our words and whatnot, but boastful in the context of,
Boastful?
things that we have actually achieved. I think we are a far cry from.
Not to mention how if you listen to the episodes that have been some of the most popular ones, particularly the ones that are sort of anecdotal and whatnot, you find that a lot of these stories that True Taura and divulged look backs, my nostalgic ones, are very much self-deprecating. How often have we come here, Takataura Nyaya, where we were like the hero of the story? Brother, a lot of the stories you hear on here are so we're self-deprecating. It's anything but arrogant.
As a matter of fact, the last episode is us talking about being kleptomaniacs.
Kleptomaniac.
There's a comment, I think 2 or 3 that said with King, I would take to the grave. And that was
Batman could never beat them out of me.
That was funny to me because I'm thinking these are stories from 20 years back, and the only reason why we're saying is because life is different. We're not those people. If we were still shattering my big, no one would have a podcast.
Do you think anyone would be telling you about that?
But for me, I realized the reason why I don't have a problem with sharing these stories is because they're part and parcel of who I am now.
Of course.
They shaped, they're funny stories now. But the crazy thing is, I bumped into someone random in Harare. Hi, King Kantoro. She said, oh, big fan.
Yeah.
My cousin went to school with you. He told me, my bastard.
You see? There you go.
You see?
There you go.
So if I don't share these stories, it looks like I have something to hide. I don't have anything to hide.
Yeah, no, the self-aggrandizing, no, the boast.
It's like,
boastful.
Because I feel like compared to what I actually want to do, what I want to say.
I'm trying to style on these cats. Boss, look at it. Funny enough, we should say that because talking about boastful, but again, did you boast it, man? Let's then boast. Then let's actually boast.
Tipe.
It's actually boasting. So a couple of weeks back, not even a couple. Yeah, not this week gone. The other week gone. I'm chilling. Our director calls me. She's like, "Yo, Munashe, blah blah blah." So it's a character that I hadn't played in a while. When I was supposed to be playing this character, I had a weekend off due to illness. And she's like, no, I'm not sure, you haven't played this character in a while, just calling to give you a heads up. We've got a VIP coming in today, VVIP, someone famous. I was like, okay, cool. So it's not uncommon for someone famous to pop up from time to time, but fame actually, it's moderate. But on this particular incident, it was a bit super, hey, somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good. We get to work. Brother, so the set is the set we use. It's
every day.
8 shows a week, sometimes 9 shows a week. It's the same set, the glasses, But on this day, they've even painted the stage door.
Wow.
new lick of paint.
Yeah.
Like the glasses that we use as props are shiny, brand new. Even the tray,
Yeah.
you know, they bring out the china. Honestly,
Yeah.
my plates same
But
room
what is
divider.
that? Yeah,
My plates same room dividers. They were taken out. They were tumbo shina to dust to jira yellow chia. You know the mukwa oil. All the wood yaka polish on the mukwa. No mukwa stage yes. I was like, alright, cool. But they were just like, no, it's very hush hush. We can't tell, we can't say it right now because we can't afford to have a leak on this. Blah 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 blah. I was like, cool. Because you know, last time when Tom Holland came, it was kind of like the same thing. They make sneak them in. Blah,
Oh
blah,
snap! Tom Holland came.
Yeah, Tom Holland came on the previous run. That's how you from time to time you get.
Oh right.
You get
It wasn't your guys' run.
It wasn't our cast, it's the cast before us.
Okay.
But I don't suspect they've made a big fuss about that. On our cast, some TV guys have come, but nothing too crazy, especially on Carla 9. There's quite a few famous folk. But on this time, the air was different. So after we do the warm up, the schedules, you do your warm up, and after warm up, we do parish notes where it's just like Ziriso type stuff. And stage manager comes, she's like, all right, guys, so obviously we all know that there's someone coming today, VIP, and so I'll let you know. And she's like, yeah. And she says, the king and queen are coming to watch the play tonight. and so we all stood in the circle of the Tango secretary. Ha, good one, Fee. Ha, good joke. Ha, banter. Ha. Yeah, okay. Because in that place, everything's a joke. Like I've never been around a group of people who just make everything silly and funny. So I was like, this is a joke. We're having a jokey joke.
Yeah.
And then Fee is going on, okay, so at the curtain call today, blah blah blah. She's just giving notices. At some point, I'm expecting her to say, I'm joking. It's Hugh Jackman who's coming, or I don't know. And as she's talking, I realize homegirl ain't even saying I'm joking. She keeps going, and as she keeps going, I look up to this to the dress circle, the upper levels of the theater, and these niggas in suits and whatnot, rolling and inspector, whatnot. Before you realize, about my cushions, Parish notes end. I'm like, are you fucking with me? Are you being for real? Brother, and sure enough, 7:30 on the dot. Man like King Charles.
Man like Charlie.
Queen Camilla roll into the place. I was like, oh shit.
Oh shit, Chaluba.
Like that, brother.
When we say West End Chirisa, this is what we mean.
Brother, the king and the queen were in the theater. Yeah, yakatopera show, and then bro, just show yakatopera. We filed out. We stood in the foyer. They came out, just shook hands with the king. The wonderful performance. How many times do you have to do that? I hope you only have to do that once an evening. That looks exhausting. But I'm just but Chaluva I'm wrong. Matichi kunenye my sanctions baba
Tinika podcast mdara.
Tinika podcast ke luga mdara
Oh yes, you and Kunduru.
You and Kunduru, yes, that black and forth podcast is most entertaining. I find it thoroughly entertaining.
Nah, shout out, that's fire, man. No,
that's
but really and truly
crazy.
This is what we're talking about.
Most of the show boaster. They get too boasting.
Very, very humble people. Munashe performed for
Wambo
the
perform King of England here.
king. For the king.
This is boss. Wambo perform King of England here.
That's so dope.
Come on,
man. That's
behave.
So dope. That's so dope. Nah, man, that's crazy. But
Let
yeah,
me-
we're saying I think shout out to the Namas. Shout out to the Namas for that award. Negotiating na nicho kuti andipo ka third term karungotaurwa
Extension.
2030.
Udangora three-peat.
I think the these numbers, there was so much noise, man. Like the numbers have always been contentious, but these numbers, like there was the Felinandi camp that felt snubbed, rightfully so. That felt snubbed that she wasn't nominated for any award, which was a very bizarre decision in light of how much she carried the torch in terms of like the ladies, the women performance. She was everywhere. She had her own individual shows. She was performing internationally. She was there in Germany for the Motor Festival. She was there at Zimfest. I don't think you can mention women artists. You can mention the ladies without mentioning Feli's name. So that was a bizarre decision. Then there was Holly Ten, who felt aggrieved again that she was one of the top artists last year but didn't get nominated. Regardless of, he says he submitted, but regardless of whether he submitted or not, I think the numbers themselves said the nominations come from part submissions and again a panel that noticed individuals that head and shoulders above other performers. So I mean it's a very contentious one. There's also other notable ones that fell within, but the most interesting thing that I noticed was people say they don't care about awards until they lose.
That's another one.
People say
what no, and then you lose, and then it's like you see why this like this is exactly why
so this recent iteration of drama, I mean, one of the things that he was having what the young kids call a crash out.
I'm not here to address no numbers, bro. We're bigger than the numbers, one. I'm bigger than the numbers. In ginger that. I'm not past stress,
the crash out.
Crash out. So he was crashing out. He did a live where he was, saying things about the numbers, and I think one of the things that he said that was notable was, you can't treat me like I'm RPUs. Dangat RPUs. And that led now RPUs to be like, what?
And RPUs are no okay. Yeah.
And
RPUs are no controversy.
RPUs is almost like the same side of the same coin, but it has had a different effect. He is very trigger happy, but it hasn't yielded the same results as in the case of Wally, where RPUs who do the crash outs, the tweets, Zimipo passing them as the album, but it has never reflected into like views or interest in his music.
Yeah, he hadn't because he hadn't taken the time. He hadn't achieved a similar meteoric rise.
The music is just not good. The music is just not as good.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. He's got a couple bangers.
Yeah, but
he's not an awful rapper.
He's not. Rapping, but the music, as in part of the rapping, part of the music overall is just
okay.
Not
fair enough. Yeah, the rollouts, the whatnot.
The drama takes more precedent. But so now they're in a diss track war. I think RPU's released his diss track last night. I think I haven't heard if Wally 10 has released. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, Wally 10 has responded. Keen to hear what you guys What you guys think about this back and forth in the hip hop streets? Which side are
These
you leaning?
creeps.
Are you holy? Big shout out to Votes JT who won album of the year. That was
N.O.P.
incredible,
Makoni.
bro. Album of the year.
To go to hip hop.
Album of the year on top of all the musical albums
On top of Freeman's Me versus Me.
Bro, album that was incredible. And the thing that I loved even more was the speech.
NOP. Thank you, Nama Awards, for this award, for this motivation. This is proof, and this is proof to hip hop, to the next Rose JT, to the next Holy 10, to the next Same Flow, to the next Bling 4, to the next Baga. This is proof. Because this is achievable. I just think we record and this. So thank you, my Jesus.
Like
Yeah,
no one would have faulted him if he hadn't included anyone's name. If he had,
Yeah, of course.
if he had just shouted out his homeboys or his mom was Ningrimba.
No, even if he came out like yeah, my job fan, I'm the nigga on top of the mountain, people would be like, yeah, alright, cool. I guess that validates you.
Bro, there's so much to get through this week. There's so much to get through this week. Did you catch up with what's happening in America?
Yeah, brother.
Ngiceli akasangana nacho.
Shit. Kumbira.
Ngiceli akasangana nacho kwaphela.
Ngiyacela.
If those people could speak Ndebele or Shona, Trump got hi man, suga.
Hayi, awusuka lapho wena. How? Hey. Yasinyanyisa nje.
Amsasenyanya re German. Hey. Remember we used to joke about this with you. At some point, Gavarasha Dambram Sungo. Because
This Muromo Black and Forth, bro. Muromo Black. That's another Muromo Black and Forth moment. We pass because we did say that.
After what 350 bids, what I'm about to kumbira, people are going to aside from Tisatato Pina in the context of what the bust up was about. The context is after what people had 350 bids. Hey,
Brother.
hey. Because I know African countries were colonized for less.
Right?
African countries, the whole continent was colonized for less than 350 bids.
That is crazy. Apa wangopiwa ye jamba nje rangostori neinaro futhi.
The whole of Africa was colonized for less than 350 bids. People are going to have attitude, no matter how you spin it. People are going to have attitude, bro. But then when we get into the context of what was actually happening, it's I think that was a setup. I think Zelensky was set up. I don't think like the whole having the cameras there, having the whole media presence there and setting it up, they wanted to chide him like a child in front of, strongman position. They did not expect him to be like, Ayoga. They did not
You'll
expect,
feel it. You are going to feel, you feel it.
They did not expect him kuramba kutsigurwa pavanhu. Because that's basically what it was. Because if that had happened behind closed doors, I think the conversation would have gone. I think German is feeling under pressure. Zelensky is obviously under pressure back home. People are yo, my man, this war has been going on for people want to move on. People are dying. People are losing. Regardless of the thing about war is regardless of at some point it stops mattering who started the war or who was wrong. The longer a war goes, people start to lose sight. People are just thinking about, and rightfully so. People
Tabo. Someone cut the tape. Shit.
Cut it out, right? Which works out in Putin's favor because he can play the long game. he is largely unaffected in terms of like economy and things like that. But Zelensky at Mamawan, he has to keep begging and all these things. And everybody, it seems like aside from Ukrainian citizens, the whole world now has war fatigue where they're like, hey, Wango, we keep forking out this money, we keep including you in our budgets. Figure it out. Is it, tabo? So he's under pressure. But like having seen, what did you think? Like your initial impressions?
Okay. Mine, it'll go back to my initial position on the war itself to start with. Now, I'm no crazy Trump fan. What have you? But no, it's not even like bad, but it's not one of them bads.
It's like you're setting us up for the crazy.
Okay, I know it sounds like I'm setting us crazy, but what I'm saying is, I've got my reservations around the whole situation. There's an element of hypocrisy on Ukraine and the Western position on this. Because at the end of the day, and I know a lot of people have expressed this before, bro, if Russia was to come and say we're going to set up a military base in Cuba, that's not going to run with Americans. I believe Dr. Trump, Putin at some point, hey guys, NATO is nah, Maya, fuck off. Okay, ultimately I'm so journey, and I feel a little funny to say to mango kemba pa doorstep drungo kumbra sango shige at a certain place, and all of these things violate to say Zelensky being in power to pindam power again, I don't like to speak on Zenuzan City fully, but from the bits and bobs that I've seen, this is my understanding of things. And your pattern recognition, America, and how these men operate. They oftentimes, the United States is backing in an election and whatnot. Munie ndautum tarisa a little because that's the most self-serving nation there is on earth. Saka the minute I immediately start to ask my question, what's in it for them, man? Those skepticism and generally. And on another tip is the youths of today, fuck around and find out. Now, a lot of the things that happen when it comes to having opinions on these global issues, usually the media and how everything's pitted against it kind of forces you in a place where it's framed in a binary way. Are you pro-Russia? Are you pro-Ukraine? Are you pro-Gaza? Are you pro-Israel? This, that, whereby I think there's a lot more nuance to it, and it exists on a spectrum, right? You could say, Zaitwana Putin as Sibo, Queen Vida, Nikevan, right? But whilst also recognizing Imemi Ukraine, you fucked around, right?
You did this.
Sure. Muna akatizvoni iwe zamura mumzi wangu akati mtsetse uyu wakakrosa mtsetse uyu ndikukumamisa, right? Zimonye rakadaiwo rakati wakakrosa mtsetse uyu ndikukumamisa, and then ovanzoni iwe krosa iwe
Atkwate my mwana.
ovati ndikukuudza ka na mai vangu ka and wakakrosa line ndikukurowa mbama, and then across a line ro ambama, and then ambama.
So you were saying basically Ukraine effed around and found out.
I'm saying Ukraine fucked around and found out in the same way, controversially, as some people might look at it, right? And no, even in the Gaza situation and whatnot, one might say, you have to retaliate, you have to stand your ground and whatnot. And then unorama October 7 attacks more motanga when like you're fucking with people who are just looking for an excuse. Do you know what I mean? And is it right? Certainly not. I see right. I'm not condoning anything, but sometimes very realistic. Maybe the Israel Palestine is a bit more complex than right.
I don't know as you feel like
yeah.
I think that
no, but no, because
I mean structure
because vaneka pasca and nangrikini and Japanese bag 7 like in Ukraine and nangrikini, but I think with the Ukraine nangrikini it's a lot more straightforward as if they just said okay I'd scoop in ndisingatozia kuti chavanga chivavirira kupinda muneto kudaro chii.
Yeah, I think now what's even more complicated is the battle of the propaganda, right? Trump even came out and said Ukraine started the war, right? Whereas, I mean, if you're looking from a who threw the first punch type shit, it's definitely not Ukraine. But if you look at it from a Ukraine, Itipwe type situation, if you look at it from a they did this, then Russia, Ukraine, you can get different versions of who actually started the war. But I think where it has reached now is a very, very ugly point where the most...
Sorry to interject.
Yeah.
Sorry to interject. To complete my line of thought, ultimately, where do I stand? Ultimately, where I stand is, here's a moral thought exercise for you. It might not exactly be the case, but would you rather, let's say the whole fuss is about Crimea and, certain territories. Would you rather give up a portion of your territory, which the occupants of that territory aren't that fussed by being Nangrikini annexed, so to speak, right? Or would you rather flirt with the idea of a third world war that can potentially go nuclear? What would you rather? What would you rather sovereignty based on ka chunk ka portion aka kagara katori nema sentiments evamwe vari mumatebeleland vari kushidzira mutwakazi type stuff, right?
So do you know
or risk?
So here's the long, after you've removed all the propaganda and whatever and the nuances in any, for all the nonsense that has been said, in my standpoint is, I don't know if this is Zelensky's standpoint, but in any, my standpoint and 10 toes down is everything needs to be back to where it was before this nonsense started. right? It needs to be like Ukraine territory, whether we want to be annexed on Ukraine, if that's Ukraine territory, everything needs to be back to Ukraine. Everybody goes home.
Reset it.
Because for me, one, this threat, if I don't give up, there is the risk of third world. First of all, that's bullshit. First of all, I refuse to believe that there is grown men who would threaten the world with a nuclear war because of this understanding. I think everyone is well aware everything that has happened in our history, Vana Hiroshima and Pearl Harbor. I think it's. I don't even need to go that far. Everyone is well aware of the horrors of September 11, well enough to have proper personal clarity. Nobody wins in a war. Right? Nobody. But for me, bro, absolutely
Brother.
no. For me, I think it's very unfair for people to treat Ukraine the way they are treating it because they are threatening it with this is risking the world going to war. Because the downside to that is it means if Russia gets away with this, what stops them from coming back later on and saying panikamwe ka territory katanda kasirira, because they know that the same excuse will be used. Because if we don't concede to Nigrini, then we are risking going to bro, who has the appetite for? I honestly think the self-serving nature we have of these leaders today is probably what's going to save us. Right? In terms of every leader in all these top countries is going through a crisis of legitimacy of sorts, right? Keir Starmer is going through, he cannot afford a bad week without people calling for a fresh election, right? He cannot afford to have a week where he's actually been enjoying wikirori nema distractions ever since Trump has been president. It feels like a weight has been lifted on his shoulders in terms of performing. He's not under fire as he used to be. Things have calmed down. He's able to put one or two moves, right? I don't think he's going to risk that by participating in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, it seemed he's enjoying this new status of being, the guy that is bringing America and Ukraine together. He's seen as this great statesman that is, the pacifier, calling for all reason. Iowa, guys, let's find an amicable solution. The other day he was there, he was like, this peace solution, it needs America to be a backstop. And I think the same situation is in France. In France, they're going through their own crisis where I don't think war is top of anyone's mind. Same thing in Canada, where, Arnold Trudeau is stepping down later on in the year. So it's similar. It's different from Kudara, where Winston Churchill was very much kana murati mamzane ngati mamsane.
Ande umvara shot ye whiskey akasaika.
Do you get what I mean? We had strong men in Nigrini who were very much, as a matter of that's the reason why Neville Chamberlain were fired from being prime minister, because people back in the day were like, at school, do you get what I mean? They brought Winston Churchill from retirement because he was like, he's a wartime leader. I think the appetite for that now, it's dissipated a little bit. But then again, this is me being an optimist in humanity. Could very much be proven wrong. And
I know humanity and itembe hangu dar. Like I said, I hope, brother.
Yeah.
By Jove, I hope. I for one hope.
We got things to do, brother. We got
shit, bro. To do.
We have a black and forth socials in the summer to bring people to bring to come on. We have numbers to win. We have BAFTAs to win. What are you talking about,
bro? Didn't my BAFTA to win? Come on.
Like what are you?
The last thing I need is to be forced into conscription, bro. I don't need that.
We need this. This is our thumbnail. This episode. Our thumbnail is Blackenford says no to war.
Screenshot that.
Blackenford says no to war. Pass. Pants.
Taroma black armband.
Black
Peace,
armband.
please.
But on the other side of that, just to juxtapose this with a lighter note of what happened in the week, Prophet Makandiwa challenged other prophets to a cup clash.
No. What? I missed this. What happened? Hansi?
Prophet Makandiwa said, "Yo, if you trust your powers there, come meet me at my church and we have a Avada Kedavra.
A miracle off.
Yes.
A papa off. Abracadabra.
Expelliarmus.
A test right here.
Ndinogona good. Alright, kana paina no profita.
Okay, if anyone can prophesy,
Kana nganga inoona.
or if there's a witch doctor who can see,
Inodzwa zvinhu namadhimoni.
who gets to hear things from demons,
Right?
yes,
Toronga munogona kuuya pano musi weSunday.
can arrange that you come here on
Handisi
Sunday.
kunamatirana.
We're not praying for each
Handite
other.
zvinhu zviri difficult ndoisa chinhu muhomwe.
I'll put something in my pocket.
Anenge andiudza kuti chii.
The one who can tell me what is in my pocket.
Ndiri kunobhorowa 1 million
I will
US
go and
dollars.
borrow 1 million.
1 million.
1 million.
Pamberi pevanhu panapa.
And in
Tosainirana.
front of all these people, we sign
To
an
sign
agreement.
Do you know the craziest thing about? I think he caught himself in the middle of it, of him saying it was like, I don't even have 1 million myself. I'll go borrow it.
Nevanoprofita.
And they hear from demons, okay,
Toita handina mari iyoyo bandiri kuti
I don't have that money, but I'm saying
tinosainirana unondisungisa unondisuwa.
we'll sign an agreement where you can
Handisi
sue
kuita
me.
zviri handisi kuda zita rani kana
I
chii
don't
kana
want anything
chii.
difficult, no names or anything like that.
Ndinoya pana ndokuti ndine chii muhomwe mangu
I'll
umu.
stand here and say what is in my pocket.
Woneswa nemweya.
And the spirit that
Whether
shows you
uri
will show
false
you.
prophet kana uri muprofita wechokwadi
Whether you're
ndomukana
false or a
wako
true prophet,
wokusunguka.
this is
Which
your
means by 1
opportunity to
million
rise.
uchatenga stand yechechi.
Because on 1 million you buy a stand for the church.
Yes,
PA system.
I'm
yeah.
ready.
Yes, that's right.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Handisi joke iyi.
I'm not joking.
But
My congregants, I said in a meter just to blow on a bet. Oh, snap. Okay, what I want to know is this a two-way challenge?
I don't know.
Because it would be interesting if he can then say, yo, you can't guess what's in my pocket, but I can guess what's in yours, though. That's what I would like to see.
That would be
Like,
cold.
don't just challenge me to say whatnot, because if you're saying your God is better than my God, you should then also be able to demonstrate your
How
powers.
powerful- yeah.
Because unogona call out because you know to tese tutara nyovo.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
So
So,
let's put everything on the line for both of us.
so yeah, if we're testing each other's powers, I then need to be put in a position where I can demonstrate that the thing that I'm saying, because if I'm challenging you to running 10 kilometers, I say you can't run 10K faster than me.
Yeah.
I can't just watch you run 10K. I need to run too and show you that I beat you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is that the case? Is what I want to
No,
know.
apparently he's addressing people today. I don't know whether it's to clarify or to enunciate the parameters of the cup clash. But a lot of Ramad's Baba came out of the woodworks and said, that ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. You can even do it. National Sports, pay security. Yeah, it's Madungwe came out and said, trade to a millionaire. Madungwe came through and said, trade to a meter ya Makandiwa. Madungwe, man. What a guy.
What a guy, bro. That guy does it for me, brother. I ain't even gonna lie.
Who do you have your money on? Because clearly this is on some bet 365 type jet, most world of sport. Who do you have your money on?
On who's on
profits? Could you add big?
none of them, dog. That's a circus. No Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
JJ. You like, come on, man. Because I'm pretty sure even in the scripture, there's something
Against.
that's against such behavior.
I
The fact that you can even make such utterances, so some men of God, it already makes me look at you like, big man. Isn't there a whole thing about him testing my powers and stuff like that? But if you like I said, all I need to see, I don't care who wins it. All I need to see is if you're challenging these people to do X, I just want to know, are you going to do X or Y to demonstrate kuti that's all? Because if you're not, then please.
I think in the I mean the thing with the Bible, right, is that there is always almost like two or more versions of the same thing that happened. I think this thing that he is setting up, I don't think it will happen. Obviously,
is a Moses and his stuff ninyoka type thing.
No, do you remember Elijah when he challenged the king, and there was that whole thing with the prophets of Baal where they went to top of a mountain, and then Elijah challenged them to show, these people that worshipped idols, right? Could do your thing. Do your thing. If light up this fire, or let's see how real you are. And these people were cutting themselves up, and they were, doing these things, and then when nothing happened. But then Elijah, because he believed in the one true God, he repaired
therein lies my point, which is really he needs to do like Elijah, and because if you say show me do this, I then need him to turn around and tell us now. What can very possibly happen is you're gonna get my pastor, my wannabe, who have absolutely nothing to lose. You joya ofembera, oposhera kufembera kwako, but inini ndichafembera tichi une chivharo chedraft chelion lager cap muback pocket mako, and then ndo zvaunouya nazvo, and then kana taita ball yondokuchorera kana 10,000 chako, and you fuck off. Right, that can easily happen. I needed to be someone with an equal status with something to lose. Like I need a Magaya, or I need a Hubert Angel. Like I need some. And pastor jatinombo tanzwa like papa double vatongo ficho go payday like man like Elliot vakazomutswa mukofini vakasha magano etrese.
For me, I think the funniest outcome of this is, imagine if all these people show up for this cup clash, and then vovabatwa mademon. Imagine
exorcism.
Imagine he brings them to his church, and they wait over there over Rababaka Chandra, and then over Abata Madimoni. Yes. But you go pin over right. Right. This was the real mission.
This was what I was trying to do. Yeah. Welcome. Now cleaning it up.
Because really, I mean, there's a pandemic of fake prophets out there. People that are losing fortunes, bro. People are losing fortunes. Vachivenga hama dzavo, urikuroiwa na ningi, ningi ndiano zidaiso, wazotsingiwa, wazoningirina. And it's like, bro, the crazy thing is there's not a single prophet that you go to that will tell you, I'm not seeing nothing. Everyone sees something.
Of course.
Everyone has their own version or reading. So imagine, there's no one. You know how like doctors are, you get to a doctor, and a doctor is obligated, is mandated to, if they can't see anything, they can't see anything.
Yeah.
Havazoti-
But vanoti
but
toda mamwe matest kana kuti vanokurefer kuna another specialist or something.
You know?
Yeah.
So but izvi zvekuti anzi you apa unonzi ndimbuya vako, apa unonzi ndisekuru vako, apa
Ndine ngirini apa.
you know?
Nah.
I honestly don't see it happening. Mambo noonera enda.
Ndakamboprofita, bro. Oh my god.
What did they say?
I don't know how much time we have.
No. We have time. For this, we have time.
But ndini ndakaprofita.
Do you wakaprofita? Walk us through.
This is such a grimy story. Oh my god, this was
How
such
old
a
are you at this time?
grimy. It wasn't too long ago. Well, it was. I was in uni. It was when I was doing a side job.
Right.
So I used to work for this agency. Young Antis. You know, when I was telling that story, that clip, hey, my first care experience agency, Antis. I was working for this same aunt.
You know what?
My first.
You know what, Munashe? I'm thinking for creative purposes. Ngati taura nyaya just enough details waypedza next episode.
Okay.
Toda kuona somebody who was listening right up until this point.
Right.
To know the first story. So just give us enough and then to a clipper.
I'll give you sample.
A morsel.
A little morsel of this one. And it's a tasty one. So the year is 2014, right? Yeah, 2014, whatnot. Agency stuff. So with agency stuff, you work different places. It all depends where they've got a shortage of staffing. Whatnot. So I go to this place for the first time. It's this very, very private nursing home. So I get given my round. It's like, these are the people that you're doing, blah, 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 blah. And the ones that would double ups, I was working with this Polish girl.
Yeah.
Buff. Oh my God, she was
nice.
Brother, this girl was nice. I think her name was like Natalia. Yes. Bad thing. Like very fit, gym thing. Like these piercing blue eyes. I'm like, yo, this girl is buff. But I'm agency and I'm just some skinny, scrawny. You can tell she's into the gym thing and she's very fit. I get doubled up with her for the double ups.
Yeah.
But I tried to, make some conversation, chit chat, whatnot, bruh. She's airing, man. She's not even giving me the time of day. You know when a buff thing knows that she's buff and she's just moving with an air of, don't even try it. Please don't even try it. You're not on these levels.
Yeah.
Right. Which I was like, no, you fine. And then I did something that was this is terrible, right? But it's not that terrible. Her name badge had her full name. Natalia, I'm not going to say the full name yet. Natalia Chout. So I chilling on a young tea break. I just thought,
let me look her up.
Let me look this thing up. I look her up on Facebook, and sure enough, her Facebook profile is open. And when I say her Facebook profile is just open, from an open profile, you can tell she goes to the gym. And like one of the earlier posts you can see was there was a rabbit. She has a pet bunny. Right. Significant detail.
Right.
Pet bunny, whatnot. And it's just, there was just a couple of scrolls I see. I scrolled through. And I was like, okay. Close it. And then we'll get back into the next round of things, Takushanda, because I'm doing a long day. We're on our double up thing. And we're just making some chit chat. And I was like, yo, you know, there's something about your eyes. There's something about your eyes. She's very indifferent. She's like, yeah, what about my eyes? You can tell she's probably thinking, oh, here you go. Oh, you got beautiful eyes. Same shit. Nah, fuck. 100th million nigga to tell me this. Yeah, surprise. And I'm like, there's something about your eyes, but you know what? Okay, this is going to sound weird. This is going to sound mad crazy, but recently I've just, and on her thing, on a profile, she had posted like my horoscope type stuff, and so I could tell she's into them, the tarot cards, horoscope.
They do their type shit.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, I'm armed with this newfound information, and I was like, yo, there's something about your eyes, and I swear to God, this is going to sound crazy, but recently I've come to learn that there are some people, and I know this sounds crazy, there are some people that when I look at them, things about them are revealed to me.
Ooh.
Again, this whole while, tutopisika chembere ka roll over no, but there's something about your eyes, your eyes, like if you ever hit a shift kukewa, you know that I'm tucking in the slide sheet socket.
That's what you do.
Yeah. So and then she goes, yeah. And I was like, yeah. No, honestly, it's crazy. I'm not saying like I'm a psychic or anything crazy like that, but there's some people, and maybe it's just something that I'm just discovering about myself, and I'm just trying to navigate my way through it. Yeah. Some people easier to see more so than the others, and I'm just trying to figure out why that's the case. But I'm getting very strong readings.
Yeah.
Of you.
Yeah. At what point do you start throwing the info
and
that you
listen, bro? When I say diabolical, diabolical.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I'm kind of piquing her interest. She's like, readings. Then she throws down the gauntlet. She's like, all right, then what can you read? Boom. Nagaji. Okay. These are my gloves. And it didn't be gives me hands and I'm butter, and then I looked in the eye. I was like, I was like, I see an animal. It's like a domestic animal. I wanna say it's a pet. Is it a pet? Wait. Is it a pet? But it's not a conventional pet. I see fur, but it's not a dog. It's not a dog, it's not a cat. Ears, I see ears. Long ears. Long ears. I want to say, is it a rabbit? I see a pet rabbit. Do you have a pet rabbit? Bro?
What'd you say?
When I say her eyes went like this, I had her hands in my hand and she clasped them like a very physiological response to like, keep talking. It actually kind of threw me back. In that moment, I kind of got shook. I was like, oh shit.
I'm doing too much.
Is it this easy? Like, you know when you try something and it works
Immediately.
better than you could have. You're like, oh shit.
Like
the
the first people who created this Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, right? Like, oh shit, my sign up. Literally, the worst niggas to do. Brother, her eyes perk up. She's like, yes, I have pet rabbit. I have rabbit, yes. I was like, yeah, I see a pet rabbit. Yeah, nah. Yeah. I don't know. And she's like, what else can you say? I was like, nah, that's I just could, like I was saying, I haven't honed these powers. I just get flashes. Some people easier to read more so than others, but that's what I got. At this point, we need to go to the next thing, right? And then in that moment, she looks at me, she's like, I'll be back. It's like, hold that thought. Hold that thought. I need to know more. In that moment, I'm like, yeah, sure. The minute she leaves, I dip in the bathroom. Bro, I start down. Bro, that's just
put a pin. Put a pin. Doba talk Gumira this week. If you want to hear more of Mr. Chirisa's escapades as a budding
prophecy,
prophet,
psychic,
prophet toi. Prophet toi.
No, because I promise you want to come back for the rest of this story because it gets darker.
It sounds like it gets darker. You have no idea. You're harnessing power you don't know what to do with.
Brother, it gets darker.
Yeah.
Because I've never done it again. That's how dark it turned. Because I did that Kawan as effective as it was. I was like, woo! Don't play with that.
But yeah, man, this has been another episode of your favorite podcast. I mean, from here on out, we are trying consistently. I think this digital platform is exciting because it allows us to have guests from all over the world without necessarily having them in the studio. So we're going to see who we can get. See if we can get HKD boss. I said, yo, would you come on the
I'd
podcast?
love that.
And he was like, Wangu, you're now my guys. Mukati murukuda regali aye galis. Mukati
Yeah,
you just have to say.
Do you know what HKD tracks bro? Yeah.
You just have to say. So you know, I mean, would be dope to have Anatolia, would be dope to have Takura. Takura is a new album, bro.
Wait a month later. Shit!
The things we used to do are better times.
Look, the whole thing.
Oh yes.
Oh, Disgusting. It's the foul. What is that?
He's too good. He's too good, bro.
What do you mean, bro?
He's got the sexy music. He's got the sexy music. That's what's up.
Yeah.
It's too
Cannot be. Can't allow it.
Mr. OK, the people of Azramba.
Nah, taziramba, bro. Well, yeah,
Vanhu
inangu pachangu
Vanhu
ndozi hangu handina hangu any way to carry on angirikini, but yeah, just now, just as an opinion nangu, I personally
Aiwa. He's too good. He's
You
too good.
can't do that.
Hopefully we get an opportunity to have Mr. OK come through and walk us through this album because it's
We would
sounding
love that.
sexy and grown. It's incredible, man. The Pen Gang.
Jeez.
You know, there's certain, like, you know, this song, yeah, Ramba Zhako, this love song, this. Have you ever had a song that is so good, but you don't relate to it in any way, shape, or form? But you're like, you want to relate because the song is so good.
But yeah, you're like, hey, so zvangu zviri right, zvangu mudheni mangu handisi hangu, like, that sounds like a Munashe thing, but yo, that's...
For you, Mdara, Ramba Zhako. Anzvanga. Man. You know, so we're going to introduce, please send through your stories via DM, via email. We can read them up. You share your stories, the most exciting things that are happening, because, you know, very much we like to think of ourselves as a wholesome podcast Ivan. You know, wholesome memories, wholesome thoughts, wholesome wishes.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that shared, you know, their projections for the year, things. Shout out to the people that are wishing us well. A lot of people were like, HICC, you know, Munashe on TV, all these prayers. So shout out to you guys, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Much love, man. We feel the love.
Means
Always
a lot,
feel the love.
Sila, this is the podcast. Smash that like button. Subscribe
Hit
to
that
the thing.
share
that thing if you want to support the podcast, because, you know, none of this is by any means cheap or easy. You can support the podcast by buying a plate of sadzas or many plates of sadzas. buymeacoffee.com/blackandforthpod. The link is going to be right there. Do you have any last words, Mr. Chirisa, before we sign out? Tizo.
Oh, no parting words. Thank you for rocking with us. Like we said, keen to hear your feedback on the new setup and the new system. Obviously, from time to time where possible, where we can, we're always, because the in-person thing always feels whatnot. So we're possible, we're always going to hit that with you. But in the name of consistency and making sure you've got one every week. Yeah.
You find us here.
I'll throw
this as a bond to anyone who cares to listen. depending on how deep the coffee bag gets, we can, because this online platform that we are doing allows us to live stream to your YouTubes, to your Facebook, to your Twitters. So kurikwangonzi makana makofi anotapira on one of these
We could do live episodes with you.
Do live episodes where you guys tune in and
in real time.
discuss in real time. But that only happens kurikwangonzi makofis acho aoneka kuti anokodzera. We'll set it up nicely, switch angles, everything, proper studio type view. We'll do a live ningrini. But whether murukuda or not, amskuda, this summer tine event ya chakuitrai patenji kuchaja ema £50. £50 per month. Event yo emaga would go over last year. That event is going to feature a speed dating segment. Is going to feature a sing-along segment. Is also going to
karaoke's and that.
Is going to feature a live recording of the podcast. Those are the segments.
How the mighty have fallen.
I think
how the mighty have fallen. Last time when we were talking about this, from a facilitator point of view, now Zelensky ndiri mommy.
Mutozo ndiona waka 50 mdara. Mutozo ndiona waka 50 mdara mutori customer.
Mon kandro amazera.
Mutori customer.
Ndokanda 25. Ndokanda 25.
Friends and family.
Ndokanda 25.
Nah, but shout out. It's going to be exciting. It's an exciting year, man. But cheers to you guys for supporting the pod.
Looking forward to it. Hey, shout out, big up yourselves.
Gang,
but
gang.
Yeah. Gang,
Yeah.
but your second half.
Yeah.
Yo.
Welcome. This is Black and Forth. Two black kings and we got that sauce. They don't really make them like we know more. About Cherry cause we know more than anybody you know. Jokes. Kova chango shika madiko. Kano pakazada, my friends and my ops munu wese adi welcome. This is Black and Forth.
This is Black and Forth.